Have you ever met someone who pretends to be someone they're not? Maybe they lie about their wealth, their achievements, or their personality. Maybe they do it to impress others, to feel better about themselves, or to escape their reality. But what they don't realize is that pretense comes at a cost. It can make them arrogant, unhappy, and isolated. It can also get them into trouble, as you will see in this story. This story is about a man who learns a hard lesson about the consequences of pretense. It will also teach you how to spot and avoid people who are fake, or how to be more authentic yourself. But before we dive into the story, make sure you subscribe to this channel and hit the bell notification. You don't want to miss any of the exciting stories I have for you. Now, let me introduce you to Ken, a young man who had a big problem. He had left his home several months ago, hoping to make a fortune in the city. But he had no luck finding any work. He was desperate for money, so he decided to join a gang of con artists. They had a plan to trick and rob a rich person. They just needed to find the right target and the right way to fool them. They came up with an idea to go to a casino where many wealthy people gambled. They would pretend that Ken was the king of a city, and 2 of his gang members would act as his bodyguards. Ken was not the only one playing a role. Meanwhile, Ken's other gang member was also there, posing as the king of another city. You might be wondering what their plan was. Well, you'll find out soon enough. The next morning, they all dressed up for their roles and went to the casino, where the rich and the reckless gambled. Ken entered the place, acting like the king of a city, followed by his fake bodyguards. He caught everyone's eye with his extravagant clothes and confident demeanor. He sat in a VIP area, with his bodyguards guarding him. The other gamblers started whispering among themselves, curious about his identity. One of Ken's accomplices spread the rumor that Ken was a powerful king of a large city, and everyone believed him. The rich people, who loved to flaunt their wealth and seek validation from others, flocked around Ken, hoping to impress him and gain his favor. Soon, the other king, who was also in on the scam, arrived and sat across from Ken. They chatted for a while, and then decided to gamble. They played with high stakes, and Ken, pretending to be the king, lost a lot of money. But when he went to get the money from his bag, he realized it was gone. He searched frantically, but he couldn't find his bag anywhere. He was furious, and he yelled at his bodyguards, demanding to know where his bag was. But his bodyguards had no clue and looked down in shame. Ken tried to calm down the other king, saying, "It seems our bag of gold coins has gone missing. We accept our loss in gambling, but we have no money to pay you right now. Please give us your address, and we will send you the money, or you can come to our palace and collect it there." But the other king was not convinced. He accused Ken of being a fraud and a cheat, and he started a fight with him. Ken's bodyguards and the other king's bodyguards joined the brawl. It was a chaotic scene, until a wealthy man stepped in and offered to lend Ken some money. He said it was not proper for a king to fight and he should keep his dignity. He gave Ken a large amount of gold coins, which Ken threw at the other king's face, saying, "These coins are nothing to us. You have no idea how great our kingdom is. If you ever visit, you will see for yourself. This gentleman has done us a favor, and we will repay him generously." Ken gave the man his fake address, thanking him for saving his honor and inviting him to his palace, saying he was always welcome. The wealthy man was overjoyed, thinking he had made a good impression on the king and could benefit from his friendship. As the night came, everyone went home. Ken also asked for permission to leave from the wealthy man, saying he would return his money soon, and then left with his bodyguards. They had successfully executed their plan and trapped a wealthy man. They had taken a lot of money from the wealthy man. Ken wanted to leave the city as soon as possible, before anyone found out his true identity. He called his companion, who was acting as the other king and had the bag of gold coins, to meet him. But he couldn't find him anywhere. He realized that he had been betrayed by his partner, who had run away with all the money. Ken was in trouble. He had no money to leave the city, and he knew the wealthy men would come after him sooner or later. The wealthy men had lent the money to Ken, hoping to impress the other rich people and make them think he was friends with the king. He wanted to show off his wealth and influence. But he had made a big mistake. He had fallen for Ken's trick and lost his money. As the saying goes, you reap what you sow. Both of them got what they deserved for their pretense. The wealthy man lost his money, and Ken lost his partner. But their troubles were not over yet. The courtiers of the city had heard about the fake kings, and they started looking for Ken. Ken had to escape the city through the forest, as the wealthy man had found out he had been duped and was hell-bent on catching him. Hiding in the jungle, Ken stumbled upon a hut where a monk was meditating. Ken was drawn to the monk's simplicity, and he waited for him to finish his meditation. When the monk opened his eyes and saw Ken, he asked him what he wanted and where he was headed. Ken collapsed at the monk's feet, sobbing, and said, "Gurudev, I am sick of pretending. I have no way out. I lie to my family that I am working in the city, and in the city, I cheat people, using deception. My whole life is based on pretense. Please teach me how to live a simple, happy, and peaceful life like yours." The monk, smiling, replied, "The whole world is caught up in pretense." The monk went on, "If someone praises you for being honest, you feel happy, even though you know you're dishonest and manipulative. You don't miss any chance to pretend. You must have experienced this. After pretending, you think you're clever and cunning, but this cunningness steals the simplicity of life. You can't be simple, you try to pretend everywhere and never truly enjoy life. But realize this, a person pretends only when they want to impress someone else. If you're not affected by others, there will be no need to pretend. You pretend because you want to attract someone, to pull them towards you, and that's the main cause of pretense. But the person who is drawn to you because of your pretense will leave you once they discover your reality. That's why, because of pretense, even our loved ones leave us, and we don't realize it until we're alone. Eventually, we find that there is no one with us whom we can call our own, to share our feelings with, because we've always pretended in front of everyone. But a person who knows himself and is content in his solitude is not bothered by the arrivals and departures of others. He enjoys his solitude. If someone comes, fine, and if someone goes, that's fine too. He does not try to attract anyone, and so, his life becomes simpler. The monk explained, as you become simpler, you will find it easier to meditate. Life is a test, but some people fail this test and choose the path of pretense, refusing to live truthfully. They don't even face their reality. Many people have flaws but never admit or feel them because of their arrogance and pretense. They are aware of their shortcomings but can't confess or correct them because of their ego. So first, let go of the world of pretense, and distance yourself from the artificial world. Only then, your mind can become clear and pure. The purer your mind, the better the people you will attract, and the more deceitful your mind, the more deceitful people you will meet. We encounter people who mirror our mindset. If our outlook is clear and pure, we will meet pure people. But if our outlook is full of deceit and lies, we will face such people. If you cheat someone, someone will cheat you, and this cycle goes on forever. The only way to break this cycle is to stop trying to attract others. The monk said, "Don't try to impress someone by lying or pretending. If you follow this simple principle, you will see how your artificial world turns into reality. By being simple and meditating deeply, you will find the joy of life and its true meaning. Deception, lies, and pretense are not what life is about. They cause misery and sorrow and are the source of all pain. If you want to end this suffering, first remove the pretense you've planted." With that, the monk went inside his hut. After he left, Ken realized that his pretense was the root of all his problems. If he stops pretending, he will naturally stop lying and speak the truth. When he speaks the truth, his life will change on its own. Thinking about this, Ken left the forest. Friends, you can share what you learned from this video in the comments. I hope you enjoyed today's video, so share it with someone who needs to hear this story. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I'll see you again in another new video with a new message. Until then, take care of yourself. Thank you.